People. Okay, it's been a minute since I've done these or one of these, so I'm going to go ahead and pick up where I left off. Being confusing to the new people, but there's a method to my madness. You have to remember, everyone who's on here hasn't been with us on this journey since the beginning. So I'm going to try to cover as many things as I can without being too over explaining one particular thing. I want to touch as many things as I can while I'm feeling pretty good, while I'm feeling like sharing. Because after that feeling leaves, um, then I'm just ranting or I'm venting or something like that. There, okay. So the most important thing before we get started, because I still have to do my administrative process before I continue, I want you to learn how to give glory and honor to God. Now, for example, you give honor and glory to a celebrity and you don't know them people, and they've done things that you like. Maybe they did uh, a starring role in a movie you liked. So, you became a fan unbeknownst to yourself. Thank goodness you're not a groupie. But anyway, if you're a groupie by any other name is still a groupie. All right, so anyway, so if you give honor to where honor is due, you're going to find out in this particular moment of clarity some of the benefits. I want you to consider the many benefits of God, even if you have a problem with understanding what God is doing, because He's not going to stop doing whatever it is He has planned for your life. It's just going to happen. I like to do what I think He has planned for me, and I could still walk around and exercise and ride my bike. Sickle. Okay, so please like and subscribe, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Help me reach my first milestone, 1,000 uh, subscribers. You don't have to come on every time I am doing a live video, but I'll try to do them at about the same time of day. I'll try to do at least three a week, and to me that's going to end up being six live videos because I also go to Facebook live as well. So my local friends and family and constituents, comrades, companions, and stuff, they can hear my voice. A lot of times, there is power in your voice. You are able to, I don't know what you're able to do, but if you're talking, things will change. Remember how important it is to give honor to the creator of heaven and earth because he spoke everything into existence. Have you ever heard that sort of term before? Okay. So basically, I'm not religious, but if you find something that works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay. So I just like to talk about the creator of heaven and earth, try to show you where it came up to be in my benefit, and maybe you could benefit from it. You will. He or she, for those of you who are like that. But for me and my house, we will serve the Lord and we will call him He. Imagine my surprise if I get up there on my great getting up morning and it's a she. And I'm sure I'm going to get the look because you ladies got that way of giving us that look. Isn't that right, Annabella? How you doing this morning? So anyway, Annabella, you should know that there is a divine thing that's going on right now. It's always been going on, but some of the younger people and some of the newer people are catching on to it and they're giving it their terminology. It might not be how you would explain it, but it's just how they would explain it. But there's a divine feminine thing happening right now. And I just want you to know that there's always been a divine feminine. All right, remember Mary, Joseph. I mean, not Mary. Not Joseph. Mary and Elizabeth, Ruth, uh, Naomi. Let me see who else. Esther. All right, so there has always been divine feminine. All right, and if I want you to believe me, they had influence when they spoke. People listened. They carried a an anointing, or they carried a precious child, or they carried a precious uh, memory, or blah 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 blah. So like the video, subscribe to the channel. If I get more subscribers, then I'll subscribe to more people. If you are doing videos and if you're trying to get people to subscribe to your channel, well, if you subscribe to mine, I don't know if you notice or not, but the logarithm automatically uh, subscribes me to yours. I do check to make sure that I'm subscribed. After I go check and see that you have subscribed, I'll click on your profile, and sure enough, I am subscribed to your channel. Now all we got to do is get to know each other and find out each other's channels and stuff like that there, okay? And then we'll just keep this thing going. Each one teach one, or each one reach one, right, June? And Moon Shadow. Some people are so creative with their names and stuff. I just came up with the name of my channel, Old Man Talking. Yeah, I was watching a comedian once, and he was explaining how melanated people and non-melanated people. He was explaining the difference of how they name their pets, and he was right. He just picked two or three audience people, and they do name their dogs. Uh, Actually, it was dogs, but we do name them differently. Okay, so who knew? So, for example, you never guess what my dog's name was. Now, we come from a family where we always had dogs, and most of our family members, or at least the nucleus, or the peripheral nucleus, they all have dogs. Okay, so we are dog people. I don't have one because my landlord wants me to get one of them little ones. I understand that if you get a bigger one, you're going to be going with that old adage, oh, he don't bite. And sure enough, as soon as you say that, I'm telling you, Karma heard that. So, yeah, see, June, that's what I do. It's in my voice. Now, what I'm trying to do is be inspirational, have moments of clarity, and help people right now. Okay, there's no sense of me worrying about trying to help people and reach people after I'm not here. Okay, so anything that I do and say now is going to be here throughout perpetuity. So that's the idea. Plus, I get to meet someone like June. So this is what it's like in the kingdom of heaven. It just kingdom of heaven here on earth. It just doesn't get any better. The creator, when he's on your case, make sure it's him thinking thoughts towards you to give you a hope, his plans to prosper you. Now, what is that scripture? I know the thoughts I have towards you, my plans to prosper you, to give you a hope. Okay, well, there's three things that is in that particular scripture. My plans, I know the plans I have towards you, my thoughts to give you a hope in the future and to prosper you. Oh, okay, yeah, that's it. My plan's to give you a hope, a future, and to prosper you. Well, anyway, just type it in your little URL. Put KJV at the end of that. That stands for King James Version Bible. That's a good Bible. Everybody will have that one. The ones before that, not everybody will have those Bibles that before that. So that's why I use the King James Version Bible for my source, because everybody got one. It's right there on the table, the coffee table, or what is that table in the living room called? I guess it's called a coffee table. It's got dust on it. Just blow it off and open it up, read a few things. Especially go to the back of the book first and read some of the red words. All right? Because, most of us like to know the end from the beginning. We'd rather get to the end first, but that's the creator's job. He knows the beginning from the end. That's a scripture, so you can pull that up and try to read a little above the Bible verses and a little below so you get an idea what he's talking about. Let me tell you something. That Bible and reading it, it's like June said, she likes my voice. So for me, when I read the scriptures, I like them. So I can influence June with my voice, not knowing her, and and it's the same thing with the scriptures. Okay, they will do whatever it is it's supposed to do. The Bible says it like this, and I'm doing all this explaining. It said the author of that book. Okay, just let's just say he was the ghostwriter for the book. Okay, um, he said that his word is not returned to him void, and it isn't. It'll do what he purposed it to do. That's a scripture as well. So I don't want to give you one of those. Oh, read uh, Philippians chapter 4, verse 6 through 7. That's a good one to read, especially for those of us who are overthinkers and we get frustrated because we overthink how something should go. And hey, it'll go the way we want if we're on our own, but we want to be with y'all. So, kind of be a little tolerant of us and, let us kind of guide this thing, right? For us, do something for others. You're going to see, as this video goes on, you're going to see some of the benefits, all right, that you get. Okay, so anyway, so that's the introduction. Now let's do the administrative part. To like the video. If you like the video, then it stays up longer. The algorithm will find more people who are like me. We just talk. I mean, I can do enough with AI. I could do the videos and stuff. I can do the reaction videos. As a matter of fact, I have I had one of those first apps where you could do split screen. You know how you do now? If you do a reaction video, it splits the screen and you can collaborate or whatever. I got one of those first. I got one of those apps first. I just can't think of the name of it. It's been that long ago. So we've been able to do that for years and years now. Some of us are. I'm catching on. But here's my thing. Okay, now I don't mean to be contrary, but I don't think it takes all that. All right, because here's something that I learned going to business school. I read it that the teacher couldn't have told this to me. Okay? If you have a business, a convenience store, a little cafe where you sell coffee in the hallway or something like that there. If you want to be in a brick and mortar establishment, but you don't want to own building. Okay, you can still make money. All right. You could have vending machines. Go out and buy those, but it has to be somewhere where there are people. Because I tell you, um, you're gonna have to pay rent. So it has to be a high traffic area if you get a vending machine. If not, you're just gonna make enough to uh, keep you refilling the machine. Okay. So remember, if you go and get a vending machine, whenever you come back to empty it out and collect your coins, number one, you're going to get them little slips. Hey, I lost $1. Yeah, here's my address. Mail me my dollar. It's the cost of doing business, okay? Once you get enough money out of those machines, a couple bucks it is not going to hurt you. And then what you want to do is you want to give that person back that money because they're around the machine when you are not, and it could not go well for you. You know what I'm saying? Not unless you got insurance on it and you just don't care. Okay, so what I had to learn was sell what the people want. Okay, so if you go to your machine and all that people are buying is the Pepsis, well, you might want to get two slots of Pepsis. Okay, and yeah, you might want to have an orange, and you might want to have a cherry and a root beer, or something like that there. But best case scenario for me, I think if I would have vending machines, it would be all one kind, all Pepsi. Okay, and that's it. Not Pepsi products, just all Pepsi. All right. So that's just a little trick I learned. All right. So that is true in most whatever you do. Hold on, I'm too old. I gotta sit down. My back is like, hey, what are you standing up for? Can't you see that chair? You heard my back say that, didn't you? Okay. So anyway, now let's get down to the context. That's how you get a letter done. You do the intro. All right. The intro is you tell them what you're going to talk about. Then you do the context or the body of the letter. In the body of the letter, you're telling them now. And then you do the conclusion where you just tell them what you just said. Okay. You kind of break it down. All right. So there's a lot going on in writing a letter or getting a letter out. So, for example, if you're like Paul in the Bible, or John, or James, or some of those guys who were prolific uh, disciples, okay, you'll learn that. All right. So now, uh, all right, newsflash: slavery is legal in Louisiana. When you hear this, you might be, oh, no, no, I'm not going to be a slave or anything. I'm telling you right now, if you are in America, you are an involuntary slave. And you just have to look at it right. The slaves that they used to have, like people of color, okay, they would beat them and abuse them and stuff like that there. And after 400 years, they finally figured out, hey, you might not want to do that because you want to go to sleep on the property where the slaves were. So I want you to look at slavery correctly. It's involuntary. All right, not unless you were in voluntary servitude. Voluntary servitude is you borrowed some money, you can't pay it back, so you go work it off. All right. All right. So in 2026, we are involuntary slaves. Don't go just with that. Oh, you can't make someone a slave unless they commit a crime. What amendment is that? I think that's the Sixth or Seventh Amendment or something like that. There, I'm not really sure. I'm not reading it, but if it's closer to the end, like 11, 12, or 13, or 14, or something, you need to read them all anyway. It's not that long. Just read the Bill of Rights, and regurgitate it. Okay? Yeah, teach it to your children. All right? Make it a game. Hey, what is the Bill of Rights? Here's $1. Little kids, I don't know what it is about them. They like $1. When we get older, you got to at least give me $20. All right. Uh, so we are involuntary slaves. So don't get that twisted, and don't go out there swinging, trying to get. Um, I'm trying to get some recompense. Okay, you're out there on your own. You don't want to end up being like Martin Luther King. Any of those leaders, the melanated ones and non-melanated ones, you know what they end up doing to them, and they're not the only kind that happens to. It happens to people who come up with inventions. Like there's this kid. I call him a kid because I'm like almost 70. He figured out, where would somebody get this kind of idea? It had to come from above. It had to be a download, okay? That he could turn plastic into gas, into gas. So he can burn it and it melts or whatever, and he turns it into what is known as plastoline. Now, that idea is not that far fetched because if you know what a hopper is, I learned what a hopper was once. I was looking for a job. I happened to go past there, and it was like, okay, when could you start? Because that's how difficult it is to get people to fulfill jobs. Everybody wants to work in the beautiful buildings downtown with security. So anyway, I digress. This is just my opinion, okay? Um, so you get these little beads, little really small beads, smaller than here's a piece of paper. Okay, if you ball it up, okay, that's how big the beads are. All right, so you get a bunch of those and you put them in this hopper. All right, it's kind of shaped like kind of shaped like this, and you fill it up. Now the thing is you have to stay there and you have to continually fill it up. Of course, they have a shut off or an emergency shut off, or if you don't keep it filled, yeah, it'll automatically shut off because it has heat, and that heat is melting plaques up the plastic, and that plastic is kind of like the frames around a window, kind of like these. These are metal, right? But there are some that are made of plastic, okay? And so they do those with a hopper. And what the hopper does is it melts the little balls and sprues out the melted plastic on a line, okay? And that line goes, I don't know, it has at least be 3 to 6 yards, or a continuous piece. All right, and then they'll take that continuous piece, cut it off. Okay, it's done automatically. Then you put it, wherever it's supposed to go, and then they'll put them on a truck, and then they'll sell them to people who sell windows or replacement windows or something like that. There, okay. So that idea that he came up with, so people have been using that sort of idea before. He just happened to use it to make plastoline. Okay, and there's, I don't know if it was AI or not, but I think this was a real guy because I understand that we may have been under the influence of AI unbeknownst to us, but there was this one guy, he figured out how to get water just out of the air with his machine. Okay. Um, these ideas come to you. Ideas come to you, young people, and thoughts come to you. So all the thoughts you have are not yours. They are given to you, okay? That's the motto. Existence was spoken into existence. Reality was spoken into existence. That's the model. So when you get your downloads and stuff, it isn't yours. Okay. Now, unless you have a dream or something that won't go away, this is a way for you to kind of know you're on the right road. Unless that dream is bad. All right. Now you should know better than that. If you're having a bad dream about doing something bad, that's not your thought either. There is a thing called karma, and people who are influenced by negative downloads and stuff. So, for example, you can't really say where you want to get your information from or who you want to get your information from. All right. Um, Kind of look at it like people are easily distracted. All right. Kind of like people like me. We get distracted by videos, reaction videos, what's going on. You're not really nebby, but or nosy, but you know about things that are going around. So people like us who have an idea how things could be better for someone, all right, we get those ideas to help that person, but they might not always want those ideas. So make sure you like the video so the logarithm will put it out a little bit longer and it'll reach more people. The longer I go on, blah, 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 the more people who will come to the channel. That's all I'm trying to do. And the more people that come to the channel, the more people will share it. That's all I'm trying to do. I am not here because I like to hear my voice. So far, only June Nabreja is the only one who likes my voice. Okay, so anyway, I digress. Okay, so slavery is legal in Louisiana. Look it up. They use words that are called legalese. Legalese is for United States citizens, not for Americans. All right, you are not a United States citizen. 100%. It black, white, Chinese, or whatever your race is, you can be a United States citizen. All right, there's no discrimination for a United States citizen because they have to attract. All right, they have to get new people, or their ideas and stuff will fall off. All right, the reason why, one of the reasons why slavery kind of died off is because after a while, when the older people fell off, the younger people, they just didn't have the heart for it. Okay. All right, because as you see, slavery is becoming legal in Louisiana now. All right. So anyway, uh, United States citizens are having their First Amendment rights uh, affected. All your rights, all the Bill of Rights, all the constitutional rights and stuff. If you are a United States citizen, they're changing those. Okay, which that's fine, because people like them came up with it in the first place, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. So it's okay for them to change it. They think they're doing perfectly fine. All right. So the original thing was people of color are 3/5 of a human. Okay, just like the Pope said recently. Was that Pope Paul, Pope John, or whatever? I think it's Pope Paul. But anyway, he recently did a an apology for the Catholics' role in slavery. Okay, so this is because they understand their part in it. Okay, so it's the same thing with being a United States citizen. You're going to have to learn your part because it's different if you are an American. Okay, so they are shipping the immigrants out. Not because they want to keep them from being Americans. I mean, you can be an American and be in anywhere, not necessarily in not necessarily in America. I mean, we got three Americas: North America, South America, Central America. There's Americas, so you don't have to necessarily be in America. But but the reason why they have to get rid of the immigrants is not because they're rapists; they're eating the dogs. Okay, not because of that. The, they're eating the dogs because the scripture told you a long time ago, if you read it, the poor you shall have with you always. And this was the Christ. Everybody knows him and what he had done for us. Okay, you didn't deserve it. Most people didn't even know what was happening. All right, until at the end of the day, they're like, "Oh wow, they killed that man," you know. So anyway, I digress, but that's what he said. Uh, will not be with you always. So help me out. But the poor you shall have with you always. And the reason why we will always have them is because we'll give them a fish instead of teach them how to fish. Okay? And I understand it's easier just to give somebody a couple of bucks than it is to give them a job. All right? Especially if you don't have one. I was trying to run a little business. I had a hallway cafe, and one of the ladies who actually supports me asked me for a job. I was like, yeah, sure. So I let her in, and the problem with that is I was behind on my rent a lot. So since I didn't own the brick and mortar building, of course, the manager was probably perplexed by this arrangement, and he asked me, "So how can you hire somebody if you're behind in your rent?" He just he wasn't sharing my vision. I was only angry because I'm a terrible cook. I mean, I use the George Foreman grill to make my hot dogs because a George Foreman grill in a hallway is odoriferous. And if you're working and if you smell these hot dogs, you're going to come down and get one. And I used to like to do the beef hot dogs because the regular hot dogs on the George Foreman grill would burn. All right, because I didn't want one of those rotisserie ones like you see in a convenience store. All right. So anyway, okay, so the amendments and everything, that's for United States citizens. It's a different category if you are an American. That's why they didn't want the immigrants in because they will become Americans. All right? And we have God given rights. That's all right. But they couldn't become United States citizens because they didn't have a social security card or a birth certificates. They weren't in that system. The United States is a corporation. Don't get it twisted anymore. You can't say you weren't told because there's enough people out there doing videos trying to explain the difference between being an American and a United States citizen. And there's nothing wrong with being either one of them. Okay? It's just you got to know what you're working with. Okay? All right. So, full stop on that. I was watching this guy drive this big, huge truck in a construction zone because it's like right behind me. If you can see, they're doing construction. They are finally taking the taxes that we pay and using them for what they were supposed to be used for, improving our roads, instead of lining the pockets of the people who are making those decisions. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this is just my impression. Don't go corner somebody and be like, "Hey, I heard this guy on YouTube saying that you're pocketing all our taxes." I could care less where the money goes after it leaves my hand. it doesn't leave my life, but it just left my hand. If somebody catches it, uh, I'm the type of person, if I find some money, yeah, I'll turn it in. I found a wallet once. I took that wallet over to the local police station. I was like, hey, I found this wallet. Yes, it had money in it. Okay. Okay. I, like you, am strong and independent. And I really only want what's mine. I don't want to go to another country and be like, hey, I discovered this country. Clearly there are people already there. Kind of like our story in America before we became Washington, D.C. But the mechanism for a Washington, D.C. was established way before 1776. All right, let's just put it like that, because I don't know your level of understanding of the government and structures. Okay, so anyway, he's backing this thing up. I'm like, okay, and then it dawned on me. I wonder if those big old trucks, it's the kind of truck where they put rocks in it, those little rocks that you put down in cement or something like that there. And like he put it right in the middle of the lane, because the peripherals of the lane had those little orange cones. All right. Oh, okay. Here you go. All right, so he backed here. He backed up into here. Okay. And that's only one lane. And the truck was freaking huge. And then he went this way. All right. Which is one way. Oh, there's the truck right there. He's still there. All right. I didn't realize that he was still here because there's no noise. This is a noisy spot where I am right now. Holy moly. Because of the construction. So construction is a good thing. Okay. All right. So yeah, he got turned around and he's where he's supposed to be. He has skills, but I was just wondering if he had a backup camera, because he backed up and he didn't hit any of the cones or anything. So, I'm like, hey, when I turn right or left, I'm worried about if I'm a hit cone. Holy moly. I rented a Nissan Altima. Don't tell them. And I came into this gauntlet where they had the cones, the flat ones, but they were really shiny. They must have been new, so they kind of messed with my peripheral vision there a little bit, and I think I hit one of them things with my rear view mirror. I'm pretty sure I hit one of those things because I had to clip, or I had to put it back on. Now, I clipped it. It didn't fall off, okay? But later I found that I had to reassemble the thing before I turned it in. They took it out of my insurance because they would have charged it $700, and that's the only reason why I wouldn't have reported it, because they're doing the most. How many of you know that these car lot rentals or these vehicle rental places, they got garages right there on site, because they're brick and mortar buildings. All right. And they fix the cars themselves. I understand that if they got a master mechanic or something back there, he got to get paid. But basically, I replaced one of my side mirrors once, and I had to do it again, and then I had to do it again. It was just a quirk in my car that they would go bad. So the more I did it, the faster I got at it. So a master mechanic, he could fix something like that and not charge $700 for the repair. Okay. So anyway, there's that. Okay, so if you do, okay, so full stop on that. If you do what you've always done, you're going to get what you always got. Ain't that right? Remember earlier today I alluded to if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay? So if you do what you've always done, you're going to get what you always got. Here's it is so simple to change. All right? Like I said at the beginning, if you have a job, had a job for 20 years or whatever, you're close to retirement, and you just didn't like Mondays. All right, some people just ain't morning people. That's fine. Uh, but some people just don't like Mondays. And that's, if you're a morning person, I feel so bad for you because it just seems like the people who work in convenience stores, they are not Monday people or they are not morning people. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of a letdown. 'Cause you coming in, good morning, and they're like, "What's good about it?" I'm like, oh, "Okay, here we go." Sheesh. But anyway, there's all types of people that make the world go round. I like that video that Michael Jackson did, where he had this face, then he turned like this, and he turned back like this, and he'd have another face. And then he would turn like this, and he would have another face. I love that. What's up, young man?
What about yourself?
I want to go home now and drink some beer.
Already?
Yeah.
Oh, now you're almost there, right?
Yeah. All right. So, let's see. All right. So it makes no difference if you're black or white. Dun, dun, I'm really trying to get the beat now. But that was the song. He would turn like this, then he'd have another face. He was kind of really getting us ready for this phenomena we have now called demon face. But I digress. Okay, because I got a neighbor. I think she got a demon face. Holy moly! I actually even called her a witch in public before, and she wasn't denying it. And the people who were witnessing this, one of them slipped up and said, "I'm a witch too." He's Louise. You cannot make this up. I love the creator using me because you'll never be bored if you let this creator use you. If he gets you all safe in the kingdom of heaven here on earth and protected and everything with the guardian angels, you should see some of them jokers. Nothing's coming in there. Some of them guardian angels look scarier than the demons, and I'm sure the demons be like, "Oh no, I'm not going in that house. No, no." Send somebody else. Send somebody else to father of the demons. I'm not going in there. You know, because demons are going to have an attitude. They're not the easiest things to work with. Okay. So anyway, rabbit trail. All right. So this is how easy it is. All right. The young people have this saying now called timelines. Now they're doing the most explaining it. All right. They're going into astral projection, out of body experiences, and all kinds of stuff. Okay, here, I'm gonna help you. I didn't understand some of these emojis and some of these terms where they would go LOL or FAFO. And I didn't. It took me a minute to learn what all these things was. All right. So the young people are coming up with their understanding. All right. I want you to understand that you, as an older person, you've influenced someone somewhere, and if they take us as a group, all right, whenever they consider us, they will consider us as all right. So they have absorbed what we had to teach. Where else did they learn how to do these things? All right, because everybody learns from the preceding generation. Okay, you could tell if they're learning something from a preceding generation if that preceding generation dropped the ball. Ask me how I know. Because one young man, I was trying to help him out. He came from the jail system for child support. It's actually called debtor's prison, but they don't have debtors prisons anymore. So what they do is they get you in there for violating a contract, which you inadvertently came into with the child support court, which is not a legitimate court. It just isn't. But if you agree to it, they got you. All right. All you had to do was sign the wrong thing somewhere. When I was going to court, they asked me to sign a document. I didn't mind signing the white ones. Hey, yeah, I will come this particular day, blah, blah, blah. But they asked me to sign this one document, and it was a dirty trick that they were pulling on me. Because I'm thinking that the judge or the magistrate is supposed to make decisions that benefit the defendant. I did not know that until I looked it up. I had to read to find that out. But the reason why they call them corrupt judges is because they tend to make decisions that benefit society, public policy, or the district attorney. Okay, who you may not know this, but if any district attorney ever takes you to court, you are compelled by higher law. You are compelled to take them to court. You are compelled to sue them. And you would not know this if an older person did not tell you. Or, oh, hey, Olympias, or hey, Only Peace. Sorry about that. When did you sneak in? It's the glasses. It's the glasses thing. I can hardly see that those names and stuff because they're coming up gray. In my mind, subconsciously, if I see something gray, I look at it like being grayed out. So my mind's not clicking. So I don't recognize it like I do the chat responses. They are bold and white. So I can kind of read those almost without my glasses. Okay, maybe not. Okay, so that's just a little FYI. So Americans can do that. If you are an American, you can you can sue the district attorney who is not an American. Okay, I'm not going to tell you they're part of the bar association, and you go find out if you ask Chat GPT. The bar does not mean British accredited registry. When it clearly does, I don't know why Chat GPT would tell you that it doesn't. All right, what does it mean then? What does the B stand for? We know that the bar is a acronym. Okay, so if they're licensed to practice law, they get that license because of, how do you get a license? You go somewhere and you apply for it. If you want to fish down by the lake, you gotta get a license or a permit to fish. All right. So if a Karen is bothering you, and because you're fishing or something, I mean they're kind of right, but they're just a holes with it. If you are down there not, and if you don't have a lease or a permit or a tag or something, they're actually right. So I don't know. I hate to meet them. I met one once in a convenience store that I frequent every day because I get a free coffee. Or every time I go out and about, I may stop at it. And there's enough of these stores scattered throughout the surrounding area where I could benefit and get a free coffee from it. Well, anyway, my local convenience store, one of the managers was had to cover somebody. All right. So I try to get a beer and a coffee. And the reason why I do that is because I'm on my way out. I'll get a beer, I'll get a coffee so I can drink that while I'm at work or to just over broke or a side hustle or whatever this is I'm involved in. And I'll get a beer. So this way, when I come back, I don't have to stop. I like this convenience store because their beers are under $2. big 24 ounce. All right, so they're under they're under $2. Plus, they meet my requirement of limiting my beers to 2 drinks a day. All right, and I think that's for heavier set men. I think 2 drinks. You know how they got thing for everything. Oh yeah, 2 drinks a day is you're not an alcoholic, okay? So since I am alcoholic, I'm a recovering alcoholic. One of the things I learned was, okay, 2 drinks a day, people aren't considered to be an alcoholic. Now, if you drink that 24 ounce in like 15 minutes, okay, you got issues. But I've been able to go buy a 24 ounce, drink it till I catch a buzz, and then put the can in the refrigerator. And and the reason why I put it in the refrigerator because it usually gets warm. All right, but by the time I get halfway through, but by the time I drink the 12 ounces, it's warm. Especially now since it's 86 degrees today. When I go home, I'm not going in the house. All right, we have central air in there, and it is freezing cold in there. It's a constant battle. I have to have one of those space heaters close to me so I don't freeze to death. I always got mucus in my chest from that coldness in there, so I got to burn it off. So sit outside on the porch and let that sun cook, baby. And I'm melanated, so I may tone down. It's like, in case you haven't figured it out, I'm light skinned. So I will turn a little darker. All right. And that heat will it will cook some of the mucus. I do minerals, nutrients, and some vitamins, and to try to combat the mucus. But it's kind of the point is kind of moot because I'm going to get the mucus back the next day because number one, it's a basement apartment. Okay, and number two, I don't know if you know about basements apartments, which aren't necessarily that bad. If you go to an apartment building, the first floor is basically a basement apartment. Okay, so don't look at it like, oh, you're living in a basement. Okay, calm down. Okay, they're cold anyway. All right, there's very little circulation of air and stuff like that there. So it's a constant battle with health for health reasons. All right, so full stop on that. All right, so here's what I want you to do. The kids call it changing timelines. Okay, we're changing timelines and stuff like that there. So let me try to explain that the way an older person sees it, and maybe you guys can tell me if I nailed it or not. Say you are doing something like I alluded to earlier in the day. If you're doing something, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. All right, that's a timeline. You're following that timeline. It ain't broke, don't fix it. You can do that for 20, 30 years. But all of a sudden, now you are retired. All right, this is a different timeline. You're going to get different results. You're going to be doing different things. And I just want to let you guys know that retirement, you're just as busy. Okay. All right. Some of us are just as busy by design, but you can be pretty busy being retired. So if you are thinking about retiring and you're going to Porch View and you're just going to sip your mint juleps every day, okay, well, good luck with that. All right, but I do know some who who do it. But I think that's the upper echelon of retired people. But initially, when you're retired, that mid julep and sitting on the porch, that's not happening because your timeline changed. Now you're going to have to make some adjustments. So basically, if you want something you never had, you have to change something. And once you change something, that's the way you're going to go. It's kind of like an off ramp. All right, just kind of look at it like that. Now you take an off ramp and you're going to go into a neighborhood or something. Okay, and that's a different set of circumstances. Still you, still the same time frame, but now you have a different set of circumstances. So that's what the timelines are. I look at the timelines like just as easily as you can take an off ramp. That's how easily you could change your timeline. Just do something different. Okay, it isn't hard. All right, changing timelines won't change your attitude. All right, you'll probably find out that you've have been doing something that you probably shouldn't have to do. Like for example, uh, when this place was first put into effect, Matrix, a kind of thing. Before, if you look at the Matrix, the idea is they're trying to say, hey, we're going to put you in this pod and we're going to put a chip in your head and you're going to be thinking, that you're actually living. All right, that's the idea behind the Matrix. All right, but in the beginning, it was not like that, unless it was a Matrix that the creator created. But I doubt it because they would have used the word Matrix when they started trying to explain this creation story. All right, so in the beginning, yes, we had a job. All right, there has always been jobs. Adam's job was to tend the garden of Eden and name the animals. Okay? So he had something to do every day, every day. He was busy. And the boss would come down. We'll call him the boss, but it's really his name is really Yahuwah. Okay? For those of you who have changed your timeline and may be calling him a different name than God, that's all it is. Calm down. Okay? And if I'll use God because I think I'm working with people who may not be in the kingdom of heaven yet, and I'm trying to win the lost into the kingdom of heaven here on earth. Not to my church if I had one. Okay? I'm trying to use words that they may be familiar with. That's all. All right? So, there has always been jobs. There's even a scripture that says, let man work 6 days and on the seventh day rest. That's how important the Sabbath is. Okay, it was important enough for some leader to figure that out, so he changed the Sabbath day. The Sabbath day was always Friday at sunset till Saturday at sunset. All right, isn't that funny? All right, never mind. I'm not going to go into that right now. Okay, but there's a lot to learn about that particular setup. Okay, so let's just go with changing timelines. It might not change your personality. All right, Adam and Eve changed their timeline after they had eaten the forbidden fruit. Or okay, let's just leave it like that because that's what you're going to read in the Bible. All right. So changing timelines might not change your whole life. All right. So for example, there's this movie. It's called Breaking Bad. All right. If you like that type of movie, it's about a good guy going bad or going rogue. All right. It didn't necessarily change him. It just changed what he did. He got frustrated after working so long. He still didn't have anything. You know the story. He may not have been a bank robber by nature. All right. All right. So full stop on that. Now let me help you with being a giver. All right. Even if I want you to give to a homeless person. I don't care if they do a video and show themselves how they made a stack of money off of people's giving. If they go to gullible people and gullible people will give. We had a sign in our city that they're trying to help people stop giving to the homeless. And the sign said, the more you give change, the less things will change. All right? To kind of make that fit your understanding. But what they were trying to do was discourage people from giving to homeless people. And hey, the only thing I can tell you, unless you watch the Batman movie, homeless people don't really kill you. Okay? Because I think that's what happened to Batman's dad. For some reason or another, he left the theater and he thought it would be a good idea to go out the back and use the alley. The rich people, sometimes their elevator don't go all to the top floor because he had his wife and child with him. So there's that. But anyway, it didn't go so swell for him and his wife, but it kind of helped the Batman out. All right, he became a crusader. I think he might have still been trying to find that guy who did that, because even though he was a child, I think he might remember who that person was if he ever came across him again. Which chances are pretty good he didn't, because this guy who offed his parents looked like he might be under the influence of something other than change your timeline. All right. All right, so let me explain I'm giving. All right. Number one, every business, corporation, government, they give. They have giving. All right. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever shall. Okay, that's a scripture. Just start typing that in. So giving has always been part of what we do, who we are. At some point, we just stop giving to each other. This is why you will always have the poor with you. All right, because we're not doing anything that'll really help them. Blah blah blah. If you're listening to me, you're probably not one of those kind of people. But there's this whole thing of giving. It's called philanthropy. Okay? Everybody knows, even those who are wealthy but not the sharpest knives in the drawer, they have a portion that they give. All right? So even a person outside of the kingdom of heaven understands giving and how that will keep karma off your back. So, for example, if you give out some information, all right, karma is not good or bad. It's just karma. All right, the sun's not good or bad. It's just the sun. The moon's not good or bad. It's just the moon. But karma can be attributed to, if you say something, then karma will step in. So the example that I give is Satan worshipers or the evil people or whatever, they are not hiding that anymore. So we're getting, reaction videos, and celebrities might drink blood, put blood on their face and stuff like that there. I don't know who is talking to them, but if you want to look youthful, all you got to do is put bee pollen or bee honey or stuff like that on your face. It'll tighten it up. So honey, they say never spoils, never. What do you call them things? Man, I could see the word in my head, but I can't think of it. Mold. just will never sit on it. I don't know why. Um, Samson, he was out there, out and about, and I guess he got a little bit hungry, and some bees had built their nest in one of those uh, big animal heads. The oxen, the ones whose antlers are back like this, not out like this, but back like this. So, it died, but must have died years ago because it didn't have any skin or bone left on it and no mold. Okay. What he did was he was hungry, so he got near it and he got the honey. That's a no-no, okay? Because you're not supposed to touch any unclean thing, and you're just going to assume that something that's dead is a unclean thing. But anyway, he was hard-headed. Okay, that's all right. So karma really took care of him because being hard-headed, he gave away a secret to his strength, and the person who was trying to ascertain this information was actually always against him. Oh, okay, this is what people were trying to tell you when they are talking about women nowadays and stuff like that. There, no, they. It's always been that way. Certain women have always been against you, and it goes back all the way to Samson time. But Samson loved her, so yeah, boy. So anyway, so Karma heard that, and he changed his timeline, and he ended up not faring so swell toward the end. But I'll give him kudos. At least he acknowledged the creator of heaven and earth. Do you acknowledge the creator of heaven and earth? Why don't you do it now? So you don't have to think about it later and just get it out of the way. If you will acknowledge him before men, he will acknowledge you before the Father in heaven. And I'm not sure if this is the end of that scripture, but it will go well with you. Okay? So it will go well with you, but that doesn't mean 100%. It doesn't mean you won't get rained on. Into every life, a little rain must fall. That's fine, but then just how karma is, you're going to be enjoying a little rain shower, and then Ding Dong is going to be in a car riding past you, and he's going to hit a puddle and splash you with the water. Anyway, you guys are adults. So anyway, I want you to give, and I want to show you how this is going to work for you. The creator of heaven and earth decided he wanted people to be free from Egypt. Okay? So what he had done was he got a guy who was willing to answer that call. And again, we're back to a wealthy person who might not be the sharpest knife. It's always been that way. I'm not picking on people. It's always been that way. He wasn't the sharpest knife in the drawer. Okay? And he explained that to the creator of heaven and earth. All right? So the creator told him before he sent him to do this, what one job he had for him. He said, what do you have in your hand? Okay? And I got a staff. All right? Throw it down. So he threw it down. And it turned into a snake. Not only did it turn into a snake, it turned into the baddest snake on the planet. You know what I'm saying? Because it actually eats snakes. Okay? Which was good because the creator of heaven and earth knew that where he was going, they could throw down staffs and make snakes too. The problem is they would make garter snakes. Okay? Water moccasins that don't have venom. All right? But they're a good snack for like a king cobra. You know what I'm saying? All right. So anyway, so karma will uh, change your timeline as well. So what we would consider to be the evil ones now in 2026, they tell you what they are doing, so karma doesn't come back and bite them in the place where the good Lord split them. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing with businesses. They have philanthropy departments, and they give, and they'll tell you, hey, we give to Toys R Us or something like that. There, so karma doesn't bite them in the butt. Come back and bite them in the butt. So those are reasons to come into the kingdom of heaven. I hope you learned something. Are there any questions? Okay, you may have seen how I just picked up this beverage. This is a cold beverage, and the convenience store that I go to, every summer they have these drinks like this, any size, for 99 cents. And of course, I'm going to get the biggest size. So, oh, I probably shouldn't, because I try to put it on a veteran's card, and if I'm a veteran, I can get my drinks. I can get a 12-ounce drink free. So that messes up the cashier when I come through with one of these, and if they try to put it on the veteran's card, it won't go through because it's not a 12 ounce. But my thinking was, I had just came through and got a free 12-ounce coffee, and went to my car since I wasn't. It was one of them days. Oh, I had to go back into the store, and I figured, oh, well, let me get one of these. So I figured I would just pay the 99 cents. It's only 99 cents. I would give a homeless person $2. Okay, I actually gave a homeless person $5, and I'm not trying to get credit for the things that I do, but I do understand what karma will do. You have to at least be as cunning as your adversary. That's the scripture. Okay? So I saw the kid, he was sitting down. These are the type of homeless people I will actually levitate to, because I can't stand to see a man so broken that he has to sit down on the ground. All right? That's a different level of homelessness, or someone who's having a problem when they just have to sit down. All right. I mean, they're all equally serious, the ones who walk up to you and ask you for a couple of bucks. But karma saw that. So I gave him a 5. That's what I mean. It's not an I, me thing. And I tell you why I do that. Because in the kingdom of heaven, he is not a respecter of persons, but he will reward you. What he'll do is he'll say, well, what do you have in your hand? So I try to do something with my right hand that I'm not telling my left hand that I'm doing. So my left hand may cause me to throw the rod or the staff down, okay? And I will get an increase over here. Works like a charm, okay? But you have to have something in your hand. Okay, so you might want to try to figure that out. I'll let you figure out. You're not a child, and I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell you everything to do. I want you to figure out for yourself, and because I want you to hear it in your own voice, not mine. I might not be here tomorrow. I might get a winning ticket somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, see ya, wouldn't want to be ya, because there'll be homeless people wherever I go. So I can still be me. Oh, hello. All right, so that's a takeaway for today. Give and expect to get something in return. If you give, you might not be able to get it back from the person that you gave it to. The poor you shall have with you always. But you can also get an increase in this particular hand. Okay, kind of look at it like that. Okay, that's just how he does. And that's how karma does also. Karma, it's, you may think that karma is working on you giving to this homeless person, then they're going to do a video and show you the stack of money and how much they scam the people out of. I don't worry about that because those type people, I don't think they understand how money works. Okay, okay. Now money's not real. Remember that. So they got all this not real. Now you're showing people your hand. So it's not going to go well for you because karma saw you do that. All right. So I'm just saying. All right. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it, and nobody's asking any questions. So I'm going to go on a smoke break, and then I'm going to start live Facebook video. And remember, like the video. It'll help me out. Do it now so you don't have to think about it. Even though you're not watching me live, you know, you can still like the video and I'll see it later. And subscribe to the channel. All right. I have a goal. And my goal is not to hear myself speak. My goal is to help you say something that will help you, give you a moment of clarity. I love being around two types of people. I mean, there's more, but I like being around two types of people. The one who first realized that Hamashiach is real and decided that they're going to join that. Okay. And people, when they have a moment of clarity, their moment of clarity, and they share it. Those are my kind of people. Okay, love ya. See ya. Okay, see ya. Okay, see ya. Oh boy, I'm trying to close this thing. Sheesh. Oh, hold on. Something did happen. No, I don't want that. Something had happened. Oh, well. The timer's still going on. All right, maybe I'll just close it some other way. Doing the close.